you haven't been keeping up with what's going on with XRP, well, you're definitely missing out, because it's starting to get very, very interesting. I'm going to be breaking it down in this video, particularly looking at Ripple's general counsel, what their view of it is, and their points the SEC simply cannot answer, and Gary Gensler singularly responsible for the collapse of FTX and the regulation. Could Gary Gensler finally be in some water, and is this just going to be a step too far to try and push this through on Ripple? Well, we'll take a look at the price, and it is again following the trend we called out on the live stream. Remember, 9 p.m. GMT every single night. Come and hang out with us. But we are following a nice upward pattern currently with XRP. Now, it is incredibly sensitive to news, but you can see here on the money flow indicator, lots of money flowing into XRP. RSI trending really nicely in the middle. Now, you know that I bought live on air. This was my point, which I bought the 48 cents mark. Yes, I'm down a little bit, but as you can see from this data, we can see that it is trending upwards. And I still think as the 50-day EMA comes down, we do touch that, we might see some pretty explosive movements to the upside, particularly when we start to talk about what is going on with Stuart Alderoty, who is part of that Ripple General Counsel. Now, he came out and talked about a convincing argument in particular around XRP. For those of you who don't know, obviously the XRP locked in a legal battle with the SEC as to whether it can be determined as a security or a financial security or not. Now, it says here that Stuart Alderoty outlines the stance on XRP using an argument that opponents do not have an answer to, and that's where it becomes very interesting. If you don't have an argument or an answer to questions or statements put forward by Stuart Alderoty, well, then, you know, you're going to kind of go with your tail between your legs. So if you like this kind of content and you're bullish on XRP and Ripple, do me a favor, hit the like button to stay up to date with everything going on with XRP, because, man, this one is really interesting. Now, just so we all are clear, Stuart Alderoty is a general counsel for Ripple with 35 years of legal experience. The guy knows what he's talking about. And when you look at his background, you look at where he's been, he is the man for the job, in my opinion. Let's take a look at his experience. General counsel for Ripple, which he currently sits now. He's been in the general counsel for CIT, the general counsel for HSBC, American Express, as well as a number of other financial posts. So when it comes to talking about financial assets, he knows what he's talking about. It says the Ripple General Counsel Stuart Alderoty made another rant on social media about the SEC and mass media's misunderstanding of the company's position in court. It was, of course, about XRP and Ripple's interaction with cryptocurrency. He comes out to say, our actual argument A, there is no contract for an investment between Ripple and any XRP holder. B, the SEC cannot satisfy a single prong of the Howey test, and Ripple concedes not a single prong. And C, the SEC's reliance on garden variety ICO cases have no application here. It says the reason the SEC and detractors try to recast our arguments is they have no answer for the arguments we actually make. Ultimately, what he's doing is saying there that there has to be a certain part of the Howey test that you have to pass to be registered or to be liable as a security or financial securities, and not in any shape or form does Ripple hit those tests. So the Ripple Counsel summed up his statement with the thesis that the Commission is trying to twist the company's arguments as they have no answers to the actual ones above. Really interesting. And remember, he's got big financial background in huge corporate banking systems. So I think for me, it's a really stable sentiment with pretty big weight behind it in terms of where he comes from. And obviously he's advising and supporting Ripple through this process. And we can see that when we get statements like this, the price generally reacts to it. Now, the good thing as well, and this is where it's almost a double whammy for XRP, is Gary Gensler currently is being called for an investigation as the kind of issues with the SEC and non-SEC regulated entities, in particular the collapse of FTX and what went wrong. So it says Gensler is singularly responsible for failing to expose the FTX fraud, the Republicans say. It goes on to say, it says a member of the House Committee on Financial Services is calling for the Government Accountability Office, known as Congress Investigation Arms, to look into the SEC and its failure to protect the investing public from FTX. It says Chair Gensler took the position that the SEC had clear authority to investigate crypto exchanges. Torres told Blockworks via email, when it comes to the government failure, the public officially singularly responsible for failing to expose the FTX fraud is SEC Chair Gary Gensler. So pretty interesting. So you've got Gary Gensler in one hand being accused of basically not doing his job, failing to protect the consumer on FTX, in which they are so heavily involved in trying to do. And then on the other side, this witch hunt in which they're trying to make an example of Ripple and XRP. And this is where it becomes interesting. Are they really going to risk another egg on face moment with XRP? Well, I, for one, don't think so. I think we'll see a settlement very soon, if not just into the new year. And I don't think the SEC will push this, given everything that is coming out with FTX. And I think there's going to be even more. Remember, 100 million Taylor Swift, 50 million for Kevin O'Leary. There is going to be more, in particular, the political start of that. But we're not going to get into that on this channel. Like I said, we're going to keep close to XRP because I think it's going to be a big player in the space in 2023. But let me know in the comments down below, what is your price prediction for XRP? What do you think of Gary Gensler? Should and is he responsible for the FTX collapse? And I will see you guys in the next video.